In the 1960s and 1970s, we became very familiar with a particular car number. And no matter who drove the number 33, it was always up front. Representing the 1974 winner of the Glass City 200, which was the late John Anderson, the proprietor of that number 33, Mr. Stan Yee, everybody. Well, we got two things to talk about, Stan. Glass City 200 history and, of course, Joey Fair. Let's go to the history first. Do you remember the 1974 race? Anything particular about it, other than you guys won?
I think he was kind of smooth on the track, and he just dominated. He was pretty good.
Just about everybody drove your car at one time or another. John won this race, but Joe was in it. I assume that Fair must have run the car.
No, Fair didn't drive.
Fair never ran your car. You just wouldn't let him in, huh?
Yeah, we just ran against some competitors.
When you think of Joy and your years and experiences of running against him, is there any one race or particular races, maybe a particular season that sticks out in your mind competing against that school bus yellow number 1, or maybe it was another one of the other cars? People up here in these stands remember mostly the number 1, but there were other cars too.
Well, it's Flat Rock mostly. He dominated Flat Rock, and we could hardly win here. We usually come in second to the break.
What was Joey like to compete against? Was he social in the pits? Was he offering help? Or was he there to win, very narrowly and singularly directed toward that, and kind of expected you guys to create your own competitiveness?
Well, he was always a gentleman in the pits. He always had a good word, and he always gave you good information. And we never talked about racing in the pits. Just everything else but racing.
Stan, do you remember the first time that you either heard his name or perhaps met him? When did the name Joey Fair as a personality enter your life?
Oh, I saw him in Motor City Speedway back in the 59, somewhere around, no, not 59, yeah, 50, yeah, somewhere around that area. And he was driving a sprint car with a Dodge Ram engine with the alcohol and all that. And that's the first time I've ever seen him.
A couple of other very vivid memories for everybody who's been around for the last 50 years. How many of you out there remember the Motor City Speedway? One of the first racetracks in the country to be televised. Those races are on TV. And then Joey Fair, as Stan mentioned, running the open wheel super modified. They always got a lot of flames out of that car, is what I remember with that Pontiac.
Yeah, that alcohol, you know, just explodes out of the exhaust pipe, you know, one individually, you can see them explode, and that's idling. That's the most thing that I remember about that engine. And running, you know, alcohol.
Well, Stan Yee, whose racing life continues to this day, you'll see a Yee in the starting lineup, representing John Anderson, the 1974 winner. Everyone for Stan Yee. Rick?
And continuing on with the ceremony to honor Joey Fair today, a representative for all the drivers in competition here today at the Glass City 200, would you please welcome driver of the number 24, Dave Kuhlman. So, David. Hi, how's you doing? This is a great day for a race, isn't it? I'll tell you a short story about Joey Fair. Just a couple of years ago on a little track, a couple miles north of here, a young rookie showed up, decided he was going to go race against the best in what he thought the best in Michigan were. He had a lot to learn, and it's very fortunate that there was a man named Joey Fair there, because Joey was probably the toughest, fastest, hardest driving man that I ever saw up to that point in my life. But when he was out of that race car, there wasn't a more gracious person to talk to that would answer your questions and put you on the right track. Joey did a great service to me by giving me things that I would have never learned otherwise on a racetrack, by answering the questions that I had and telling me things I didn't even think about asking. After a couple of years, we were fortunate enough and had the good luck to start running real well at Flat Rock and challenging Joey for races. And I want to tell you something. You haven't lived in a race car until you tried to pass Joey Fair for the lead at Flat Rock Speedway. years ago, we were fortunate enough that we were able to pass Joy a couple of times and win. One particular night I remember, they stopped us out on the racetrack, and Gary Lindell or Scott, I can't remember who, interviewed both of us, and they asked Joy first, they said, what do you think of this young kid coming out here and passing you and winning the race? And Joy said, well, I want to tell you something. He said, there's no shame in losing a race to Dave Kuhlman, and there's a good reason. I can tell you why. So everybody waited on pins and needles, and he said, because nobody knows that Dave Kuhlman's really my stepson. Well, everybody in the fans laughed just like all you did, but Dave Kuhlman knew that Joy Fair just paid him the greatest compliment of his life. And Joy, if you can hear me back there, I want to say thanks for a great career. Thanks for what you've done for me. Thanks, Dad.
How about a nice hand for Dave Kuhlman? Larry. All right, race fans, I know you were here to see the Glass City 200, but you are also here to see Mr. Joy Fair. And if the communications are accurate, he is nigh. Scott, we are ready for Mr. Fair.